Hello there, it is 8 o'clock here in the UK and I'm coming at you again from a recording this week, so apologies for that. We'll be back here again live next week, but I'm away currently in Sweden with my family, but I wanted to make sure I gave you something to get your teeth into in the meantime. So first of all, as ever, I want to welcome the newbies to the group. Thanks so much for joining. I'd love to hear what you're hoping to get out of the group and see how I can help you essentially. So lots of great things going on in here. I have this live show, usually live every Wednesday at 8 o'clock UK time. And of course I'm in here every day. You'll also see Sophia Reimagine, who's my marketing support, who's in here all the time as well. So if you have any questions, ideas, things you'd love to see in terms of, questions you'd like answered or trainings or any topics at all, then do let us know. So today I actually want to talk to you about something that I've been experiencing over the summer and that I've heard a little bit and seen a little bit in my clients as well, so I thought it was worth touching on with you. And it's a little bit continuing on from last week where we talked about sort of the idea of the summer being naturally a time to take a little bit of a step back, big picture vision, maybe not push ourselves as much because we have our kids home from school or it's incredibly hot or whatever the reason. So here in the UK, I talk about this all the time. We do like to talk about the weather. It's been a glorious summer. It has been so hot, and for once I've actually managed to make the most of that. I've spent quite a bit of time out in the garden. I've been in my bikini, a little bit of work, but I have to say not being tied as much as usually I am to my laptop indoors, which has been fantastic. I've also had a few sort of proper holidays, which is new for me this year really. I've been away to Portugal with my family. My parents celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary, so we all went off there. I've been to Switzerland to see my friends and go to a music concert, and now this past sort of week or 10 days at the moment I've been to Denmark and now, as I said, in Sweden. And so all these things are sort of contributing to make me feel, well, I don't want to say make me feel, but I have been feeling, oh my goodness, I need to do more. Am I doing enough? I should be doing this, I should be doing that, and so on. And I've caught myself saying this and thinking this, and I thought it was an important insight to share with you, and we'll talk about this and how we can overcome it in a minute, because I have been, over this time, doing all the things I need to do. I've been meeting my client deadlines, I've been having my coaching calls, I've been running my group program, I've been getting all my blog posts and videos and live streams out, we've done the challenge. On top of that, I've been writing my book, which is going to be ready on the 3rd of October, and so on. So it's not like I've been lazy. Secondly, I always talk about defining success, and success for me is to have the moments outside in the garden with my niece and nephew, with my boyfriend, whatever it is, traveling and so on. So it is a balanced life, putting well-being at the heart of that, putting family, my loved ones and so on at the heart of that. So that really is what I want to be doing, reminding myself that it's not all about the work and so on. But I wanted to talk about this because I think, excuse me, I think it's something that I've written about before, and a client reminded me about this last week, which is the achiever syndrome. And I think there's this idea that, and a lot of us, I think, are culprits here, can recognise ourselves in this definition, but having the achiever syndrome and constantly pushing ourselves, challenging ourselves, and working towards the next goal, doing more. And as you probably know, if you've been part of my community for a while, I am so much a fan of goals. I'm all about getting out of our comfort zone and pushing ourselves and growing and so on. However, I'm also all about that balance, well-being, as I said, reimagining success and so on. I think it's important to get away from that kind of achiever mindset of tick, 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 our to-do lists, our goals and so on, and to remind ourselves why we're here and what's really important. So this idea of achiever syndrome being something that perhaps you can recognise yourself in. So I wanted to actually sort of do a little quiz for you. I've got 10 questions and I'd like to see how many of these you sort of tick. You don't really need a pen and paper, you can kind of count in your head, just make a mental note of how many of these you agree with, and then we'll see if we think that you are, like me, perhaps suffering from this syndrome. So let me read through the different sort of statements and kind of count how many you agree with. So first of all, you have high standards for yourself and for other people, and you get annoyed if these are not met. So high standards for yourself and for other people. Secondly, you're constantly looking to the next big thing, raising the bar and launching into the next challenge. Third, you're terrified of failure, and you compare yourself to others to sense check how you're doing. So both the fear of failure there and the comparison with other people. Number 4, you get a buzz from ticking things off your to-do list. 5, you can't sit still for a few minutes without picking up your smartphone or your laptop. That sounds familiar. You're always signing up to some course or class, entering a sporting event like a marathon or a triathlon, making a note of exhibitions and plays you want to see, ordering books to read, and so on. You fill every evening, every weekend with some activity. You impose your own deadlines, putting pressure on yourself to complete things in less time than is really necessary. You keep yourself going with coffee, Red Bull, or whatever it takes so that you don't drop the ball. You get a migraine, also, or a cold, flu, whatever your particular symptom, when you really can't afford to take any time off to recover. So often your body will sort of collapse, I guess, at the most important time. So I've read out 10 there. This is a recording, and as ever, you can pause and go back and count again. But I'd love to hear from you, and do comment, because I'll be reading the comments and responding. I'd love to hear how many of those did you tick. So there's 10 of those, so if you ticked probably more than 5, 6, 7 certainly, there might be a little bit of chance that you are suffering from this achiever syndrome, which is something, as I said, that I've been experiencing and sort of, I wouldn't say struggling with, but certainly tackling this year. I think over the years I've become much better at this. You see, much better, tick, ooh, I've achieved something. It's terrible, it's so innate. But it's certainly been something I've worked on. But clearly this summer, as I said, I've really tried to remind myself why I'm doing these things. And then it's okay that our energy, our sort of year, our business planning, our career, whatever it is, naturally has seasons, and that's okay. And whether, again, it's because it's hot or our kids are home or just because we need a break, we're feeling burnt out, it's really important to take that time to enjoy that time, and then we can double down and refocus our efforts in September. We can just keep things ticking over. We talked a few weeks about this fantastic metaphor that I heard, which I still love, and I'll repeat it again, just to remind you, and also for the newbies. The idea of dropping balls, right? We talk a lot about, I can't drop the ball, but it's important to recognise which of those balls are made of rubber and will bounce back, and which of the balls are crystal and will break into a million pieces, never to be repaired again. And if you think about things in your life, some things are, things that you can probably drop a little bit, they'll bounce, you can pick it up in a few weeks' time, and that's going to be okay. Other things, maybe your own health, your children, your partner's relationship with you, and so on, are things that actually you can harm irreparably, and it's incredibly important to prioritise that. So thinking about which of those balls you can drop now over the summer, and which ones you can pick back up again, and which ones actually you really need to focus on, and maybe this is the right time to do that. So if you do recognise yourself in these statements and descriptions, don't worry, this is not something that we have to accept and live with. This is not an actual syndrome, it's not something that's genetic, this is something 100% that we can, and I think, want to work on. So it's something that we can, first of all, have the awareness. I think that already catching ourselves when we kind of push ourselves, when we're getting excited about the to-do list and so on, is important. And as I said, as I have been experiencing, if I'm thinking, I'm not doing enough, I need to do more, and so on, take a step back, take a deep breath. It's August, it's summer, it's hot, I've done what I need to do. What is the worst thing that can happen? That's always a good question to ask. What's the worst thing that can happen if I don't do this today, tomorrow, this week, whatever it is? And when can I sort of pick things back up again? But we can talk lots about how we can really overcome this, but I really do think awareness of it is the absolute first step in terms of catching yourself and thinking, it's okay. Worst case scenario is not the end of the world, and actually I can go off with my kids or whatever it is and enjoy, a swim or a bicycle ride or a trip or whatever it might be at the moment, or just, veg out on the sofa. We need to do that sometimes too. So for all the work, that we're doing in our coaching program, one-on-one coaching with me, our challenge in terms of our escape plan, building your business, whatever you're working on at the moment, just giving you permission, not that you need my permission, but I shall give it to you nonetheless, to let a few balls drop, take a bit of a break, and begin to reframe some of these things. It's not about the external validation, achieving things, getting that gold star, the big tick from your teacher. This is your life, your definition of success, and it is okay to have a bit of a break. In fact, as I always say, when you're working on your business, working on yourself, taking care of yourself is taking care of your business. So that's the short little video for this week, talking about achiever syndrome and how you can begin to raise awareness of that and allow yourself to enjoy this time in August. So take a bit of time off, it's okay. It's a great time to, as we talked about last week, take a big picture view of your life. What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to have? What do you want to focus on when we come back and knuckle down again sort of in September and back to school time? I think that's always a great time to sort of put the focus back onto what we want to do and so on. But in the meantime, I hope you're enjoying your holiday if you're on holiday, you're having a rest, you're getting the sleep you need, you're drinking lots of water in the heat, you're having fun with your friends and family. Next week I am back live, I promise, so I'd love for you guys to join me for an interactive session, and then again we'll be continuing with the weekly lives as usual. So do let me know as ever if you have any questions, any topics you'd like to see, and we're going to be continuing to really talk about this leaving the corporate 9 to 5, the escape plan, the getting up and running with your business, with my book coming out 3rd of October. The book is Leaving the Corporate 9 to 5, stories from people who've done it and how you can too. So that's going to be really the theme for the next few weeks and months. But of course, if you have any questions in the meantime, don't hesitate and I'll be happy to answer them either, as a quickie here in the group, or I can do a training for you as well. So hope you're enjoying the summer. I look forward to seeing you here live again next week. And don't worry, we can conquer this achiever syndrome together. Bye for now.